My father didn't leave us money when he died. He left us a test, and by the end of it, only one of us would still be family. My name is Ethan Miller, and the day my father died, something felt wrong. Not sad, wrong. I drove back to our house in the suburbs. Everything looked the same, lights on, lawn trimmed, but inside it felt empty. Not quiet, empty. "Ethan, you're late." Jason didn't even look up from his phone. "I had a meeting," he said. Of course he did. Lily sat on the couch, scrolling. "When is the lawyer coming?" she asked. Not, "How's Mom?" Not, "Are you okay?" The lawyer. I looked at the table. Documents were already prepared. Too prepared. "Seriously?" I said. "He just died." Jason shrugged. "That's exactly why we should handle this now." The funeral passed quickly. People cried. Mom didn't. She just stared at the door, like she was waiting for Dad to come back. Jason left early. Lily barely stayed. I was the only one sitting next to Mom. That evening, the lawyer, Mr. Carter, arrived. No small talk, no delay. He placed 3 envelopes on the table. "One for each of you." Jason grabbed his immediately. Lily followed. I hesitated. "Your father made an unusual decision," Mr. Carter said. "He didn't divide the inheritance." Silence. "What do you mean?" Lily frowned. "It means," he said calmly, "you must complete a condition before receiving anything." Jason laughed. I didn't. Because suddenly, everything made sense. This wasn't just a will. This was something else. Mr. Carter looked at us one last time. "Your father prepared this, long before he passed." And in that moment, I realized the truth. The room went quiet after Mr. Carter finished speaking. No one joked anymore. No one smiled. Jason was the first to break the silence. "All right, let's see what kind of test this is," he said, tearing open his envelope like it was nothing. Lily followed right after, curious now. I waited. I don't know why, but something in me didn't want to open it yet. Jason read his letter out loud. "Come home every weekend for the next 30 days. No excuses." He paused, then laughed. "That's it? Seriously?" Lily smirked. "Wow, Dad really thought you had time for that?" Jason shrugged. "I'll figure something out." But I knew that tone. It meant he wouldn't. Lily opened hers next. Her expression changed slightly as she read. "Take full responsibility for your mother's medication and daily routine for 30 days. She frowned. "Is this a joke?" "No," Mr. Carter said calmly. "It is not." Lily leaned back, crossing her arms. "I mean, I can try, but I have my own life too." Of course she did. They both did. Then, they both looked at me. "Your turn," Jason said. I finally opened the envelope. My hands felt heavier than before. Inside, there was only one short sentence. "Live your life as you have been, and do not tell your siblings what you are doing." That was it. No task, no deadline, no condition. Jason frowned. "Wait, that's all?" Lily leaned forward. "That doesn't even make sense." I didn't answer, because it didn't make sense. And somehow, that made it worse. Jason tossed his letter onto the table. "Whatever, this is just Dad being dramatic again." Lily nodded. "Yeah, like one of his life lessons." They were already dismissing it, like it didn't matter, like he didn't matter. But I couldn't shake the feeling in my chest, because Dad wasn't the kind of man who did things without a reason. Not something like this, not at the end. Mr. Carter stood up, closing his briefcase. "I suggest you take this seriously," he said. "Your father always did." Jason didn't respond. Lily looked away. I looked down at my letter again. That single sentence, simple, too simple. Live your life as you have been. A strange thought crossed my mind. What if this wasn't about what we were supposed to do? What if it was about what we would choose not to do? I folded the letter slowly, slipping it into my pocket. Jason was already checking his phone. Lily was already planning something else. And me? I just sat there, thinking, watching. Because suddenly, I understood something they didn't. This wasn't a game, and I had a feeling. I was the only one who knew it. The first weekend came and went. Jason didn't show up. Something came up, he texted. No explanation, no apology. By the second weekend, he didn't even bother texting. Lily tried, at least, at first. She showed up on Monday with a bag of groceries and a forced smile. "Okay, Mom, we're going to get you back on schedule," she said, checking the medication list like it was a checklist. For a few days, she did everything right. Pills on time, meals prepared, lights off early. But by day 4, things started slipping. "I forgot," she said once. "I was busy," she said the next time. Then one night she didn't come home at all. By the end of the week, she stopped trying, and somehow, I wasn't surprised. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. My letter was clear, say nothing. So I did what I had always done. I stayed. I drove Mom to her appointments, cooked her meals, sat with her in the quiet moments when the house felt too big, too empty. At first, everything seemed normal. She was quieter, yes, more distant. But then, small things started happening. She would forget where she placed her glasses, call me into the room, then forget why. One afternoon, she looked straight at me and said, "Jason, can you help me with this?" I froze. "It's me, Mom," I said softly. "Ethan." She blinked, confused. "Oh, right," she smiled weakly. But the next day, it happened again and again, until one night she held my hand and hesitated. "Remind me your name again," she whispered. Something inside me broke. Because in that moment, I understood what was really happening. This wasn't just about responsibility. This wasn't just a test. We were running out of time, and they didn't even know it. I looked at her, this woman who had raised all 3 of us, who still asked about Jason and Lily every single day. "Are they coming this weekend?" she asked. I forced a smile. Maybe. But deep down, I already knew the answer. Because the truth was no longer hidden. It was right in front of me, and I was the only one still there to see it. By the second week, the pattern was clear. Jason wasn't coming back, but he was talking like he was. "I'm doing this for the family," he said over the phone one night. "I've got deals lined up. You wouldn't understand." I stood in the kitchen holding the phone, looking at Mom sitting alone at the table, waiting. "She asked about you today," I said. There was a pause. Then, "Tell her I'll visit soon." He hung up before I could answer. Lily was different. She didn't disappear, she performed. One afternoon she showed up unexpectedly, dressed perfectly, smiling like nothing was wrong. "Let's take a picture, Mom," she said, wrapping an arm around her. Click. An hour later she was gone. That night I saw the post. "Taking care of Mom. Family comes first." Dozens of comments. "You're such a good daughter. She's lucky to have you." I stared at the screen, then looked over at Mom. She was sitting alone in the living room, quiet, confused. Lily hadn't given her medication, hadn't made dinner, hadn't stayed. Just one photo. That was enough. I felt something rise in my chest. Anger. Not loud, not explosive. Cold. Because now I understood. Jason wasn't absent. He was hiding behind excuses. Lily wasn't helping. She was hiding behind appearances. And somehow, everyone else believed them. I walked into the kitchen, my phone still in my hand. I could expose them. One message, one post, one truth. But I didn't, because of the letter. "Do not tell your siblings what you are doing." At first, I thought it was about silence. Now, I wasn't so sure. Maybe it was about restraint, about watching, about choosing what kind of person I wanted to be, even when no one else was. I looked at Mom again. She was staring at an old photo on the wall. All of us, together, smiling. "Your brother works so hard," she said softly. "And your sister, she's always been so kind." I didn't correct her, because maybe this wasn't about correcting anything. Maybe this was about revealing everything, slowly, quietly, without saying a word. And in that moment, something shifted inside me. This wasn't just about them failing. This was about me choosing whether to stay silent or break everything. I closed my phone, because deep down, I already knew. It happened on a quiet afternoon. Mom was asleep upstairs. The house felt heavier than usual. I was looking for her medical records when I opened Dad's old study drawer, the one no one had touched since he passed. Inside, files. Not random, organized, labeled. My name, Jason's name, Lily's name. My chest tightened. I pulled Jason's file first. Receipts, missed calls logged, dates circled in red, notes written in Dad's handwriting. Didn't show up again. Promised to visit. Didn't. I froze. This wasn't recent. These notes went back months. Then Lily's file. Photos, screenshots, social media posts printed out. And beneath them, notes. Present for appearance, leaves early, no follow-through. My hands started shaking. This wasn't a guess. This wasn't a test starting now. This had been happening for a long time. Then, I found mine. No complaints, no red marks, just one line, repeated. Still here. I sat down slowly, trying to process everything. And then I saw something else. A small device log, dates, times, room labels, cameras. My eyes moved slowly across the page. Living room, kitchen, hallway. Dad had installed cameras before he died. I looked around instinctively, like I could feel them watching even now. Every conversation, every visit, every absence. He saw everything. The silence suddenly made sense, the letters, the test. This wasn't about creating new behavior. It was about confirming what was already true. Jason didn't suddenly become distant. Lily didn't suddenly stop caring. They had always been like this. And Dad knew. The thought hit me harder than anything else. He wasn't hoping they would change. He wasn't trying to fix them. He was making sure he left Mom with the right person. I looked down at the files again, at the months of quiet observation, at the careful notes, at the undeniable truth. And for the first time, I didn't feel confused anymore. I felt chosen, not rewarded, not favored, chosen. Because I stayed, because I didn't leave, because even when no one was watching, I still showed up. I closed the file slowly and whispered, almost without realizing, "You knew." The room didn't answer, but somehow, I felt like it didn't need to. Day 30 came quietly, no warning, no reminder. Then the call came, from Mr. Carter. "All three of you need to come back to the house," he said. His tone was different. We arrived within an hour. Jason looked impatient. Lily looked uneasy. I said nothing. The living room felt colder than before, like something was waiting for us. Mr. Carter stood near the TV. This time, no envelopes. "Your father asked that we wait exactly 30 days, he said. "Now, it's time." Jason crossed his arms. "Time for what?" Mr. Carter didn't answer. He just picked up the remote and pressed play. The screen lit up. The first clip. Jason's name appeared. A video from the living room. Mom sitting alone, phone in her hand, calling, waiting. Cut. Another clip. Jason's phone lighting up. Incoming call. Mom. He glanced at it, ignored it. The room went silent. Jason shifted in his seat. "Okay, that doesn't prove anything." Mr. Carter pressed play again. More clips, more missed calls, more empty promises. Jason didn't speak again. Then, Lily's name. The screen showed her smiling, holding Mom close, taking pictures, laughing. Then, cut. Same day, same house, Mom alone, medication untouched, lights off, door closing, Lily leaving, her face turned pale. I didn't know," she whispered. But the video kept playing. Different days, same pattern. Appear, perform, disappear. Then, my name. I didn't move. The screen showed the kitchen, me cooking, the living room, me sitting beside Mom, the hallway, helping her walk. Day after day, clip after clip. No words, no audience, just presence. The video ended. No one spoke. Jason stared at the floor. Lily was crying. The silence was heavier than anything I had ever felt. Mr. Carter stepped forward. "Your father did not create this test," he said. "He documented the truth." Jason shook his head. "This is insane." but his voice was weak. Lily covered her face. And me? I finally understood everything. This wasn't about proving who was better. It was about revealing who we really were, when no one was watching. Mr. Carter placed a final document on the table. The inheritance will be decided based on this, he said. No one reached for it, because deep down, we already knew. I looked at them, at my brother, at my sister, and for the first time, I didn't feel angry, just clear. Because this moment was never about money. It was about truth. And now, there was nowhere left to hide.
No one moved after the video ended. Jason was the first to react. "This is ridiculous," he snapped, standing up too quickly. "This doesn't show the full picture." But even as he said it, he didn't sound convinced. "No one knows what I've been dealing with," he continued, pacing. "I was working. I was trying to build something for all of us." "For all of us?" I asked quietly. He stopped, didn't answer, because there was nothing left to say. Lily didn't argue. She didn't defend herself. She just broke. "I didn't think it mattered that much," she whispered, tears running down her face. "I thought there was still time." Her voice cracked. "I didn't know she was getting worse." I looked at her, really looked at her. For the first time, she wasn't pretending, she was just lost. Mr. Carter stepped forward, placing the final document on the table. "Your father's estate," he said, "will be transferred to Ethan Miller." Silence. Jason let out a dry laugh. "Of course." Lily wiped her tears but didn't look up. No one argued, because the truth had already spoken. Everything Dad built, the house, the savings, the future, all of it, was now mine. And yet, it didn't feel like winning. It felt like something else, a weight. Jason grabbed his jacket. "Do whatever you want," he muttered. But before he walked out, he paused. "I should have come," he said quietly. Then he left. Lily stayed, still crying. "I messed up," she whispered. "I really did." I nodded, because for once, she was telling the truth. Then she stood up slowly. "I don't expect anything," she said, and walked out. The door closed, and suddenly, it was just me, and everything they left behind. I looked around the house, at the walls, at the silence. This was it. I could keep everything, walk away, cut them out of my life the way they had done to Mom. No guilt, no consequences, or I could do something else, something harder. I sat down slowly, staring at the document in front of me. Because this wasn't just about inheritance. It was about who I chose to become, not in front of a camera, not in front of a lawyer. But now, when I finally had the power, I closed my eyes, took a breath, and made a decision. A week later, I called them back. Jason almost didn't come. Lily showed up early but didn't say much. We sat in the same living room, same table, same silence, but this time, I was the one in control. "I'm not splitting the money," I said. Jason scoffed. Lily looked down. "But I'm not keeping it like this either." That got their attention. "What do you mean?" Jason asked. I said calmly. "Dad didn't want to reward us. He wanted to fix us." They didn't respond, but they were listening. "So here's what we're going to do." I laid out the plan. "Jason, you handle all the finances. Medical bills, house expenses, everything." He frowned. "You think I'll just agree to that?" I looked at him. "You said you were doing this for the family." He didn't argue again. "Lily, you stay here every weekend. Take care of Mom. No photos, no posts." She nodded immediately. "I'll do it," she said, her voice quiet, but real. "And me?" Jason asked. "You show up," I said. "Not when it's convenient, when it matters." Silence. For a moment, I thought they would walk away, but they didn't, because deep down, they knew this was their last chance. The first few weeks were rough. Jason missed a visit. Lily made mistakes, but this time, they came back. They tried again. And slowly, something changed. Jason started staying longer, talking more, listening. Lily stopped checking her phone, started sitting with Mom. Really sitting? And Mom? She smiled more. Some days she still forgot things. Some days she called me by the wrong name. But she wasn't alone anymore. None of us were. One evening, we sat together at the dinner table. All three of us, like we hadn't in years. Mom looked at us and smiled. "This feels nice," she said softly. No one spoke, because we all felt it. Not perfect, not fixed, but better. I looked around the room, at my brother, at my sister, at the space that used to feel empty, and for the first time, it didn't anymore. I thought about Dad, about everything he did, everything he saw, everything he planned. And finally, I understood. He didn't leave us money. He left us a second chance, a way back, to each other. So, what would you choose? Keep everything, or give them a second chance? Forgive, or walk away for good? Family by blood, or family by actions? Whose side are you on? Comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more emotional stories.